Okay, so I'm going to cancel my Amex Gold card. It's been nearly 3 years and I am done. And I'm going to replace a card that was costing me £195 a year with one that's completely free. And I've actually discovered something pretty interesting. The card I'm switching to comes in two versions, a free one and a premium one at £240 a year. And you'd think that premium card would be the obvious upgrade, but it's not. In fact, I'd say that for most people, it's the worst deal. And by using me and my annual expenditure as an example, I'll show you exactly why that is. But before we jump in, could you please consider subscribing to the channel? Only 2% of you are. And at that rate, I think I'll probably hit 1 million subscribers by the time I turn 200. So please hit that subscribe button. So if you saw my last gold video, then you'll know I was a fan. At the time, I said the lounge passes and the delivery credit made the £195 fee worth it. And they genuinely did. Like, it was really easy to recoup the cost. But a card like this only works if your life matches the perks, and mine have dramatically shifted. Reason 1, I'm just not traveling like I used to. Since leaving Manito, I don't go to Switzerland every few months, and I've barely touched the 4 airport lounge passes that you get, and they do add a lot of the value. Reason 2, the Deliveroo statement credit. That used to be easy for me to redeem, but the takeaway options around me have just kind of gone downhill recently, and since actually we discovered my daughter is allergic to rapeseed oil, which every restaurant seems to cook with, we've not really used it, which is another chunk of value left on the table. Reason 3, and this one's on Amex, they've quietly made the card worse. So in my last video, I explained how the spend bonus worked. All right, you earned 2,500 points for every £5,000 you spent, all the way up to 12,500 a year. And that was a genuinely good earner for me, which I always managed to max out. Well, at least until they cut it. And now you get 5,000 points when you spend £10,000 and another 5,000 points at £20,000. So a maximum of 10,000 points carved into 2 big lumps instead of 5. And this is an intentional strategy by Amex to encourage us to spend more money, because lumps like that are designed to be chased. Because if you're sitting at 8 grand, you feel the pull to justify spending a little bit more than usual just to grab the 5,000 points. It's way more exciting and enticing when it's 5,000 versus 2,500. And yes, it's a bigger bonus. You know, they're arguably being more generous. I don't know, maybe someone would say that, but they've doubled how much you need to spend to unlock anything, which is crap for low spenders, right? But also, if you do spend 15K, you'd only earn 5,000 points, where before you'd have had 7,500. That is enshittification, however you look at it. Ultimately, you've got more hoops to jump through and a smaller reward for doing so. Now, I should definitely say that none of this makes Amex Gold a bad card. It's still brilliant for the right person, especially in the first year when it's free. If you fly enough to use the lounge passes or love Deliveroo and rapeseed oil, or if you're spending north of 20 grand a year and you love the Amex point system, then keep it. I think there's no question. There's also other benefits that we don't often talk about, probably for reason, but Amex experiences, for example, you get $100 of credit with the hotel collection, and there's also some insurances. But honestly, I think that's all kind of like fluff, isn't it? Just designed to pad the card out. So with that said, I'm actually going to move to the card I've been using as a backup when Amex wasn't accepted. And that is the Barclaycard Avios MasterCard. And here's where it's going to get really exciting. There are 2 versions of this card, and choosing the wrong one for you could be a pretty expensive mistake. So the free one earns 1 Avios per pound, includes a 5,000 Avios welcome bonus, and an upgrade voucher if you spend 20 grand in a year. And then there's the Plus card. It's £240 a year, but you earn 1.5 Avios per pound, a much bigger 25,000 welcome bonus, and you get that upgrade voucher at just £10,000 of spending. So on paper, I think we can all agree that Plus seems like the logical choice, right? More points, bigger bonus, easier voucher. So naturally, that's the one I assumed I'd want. And that is exactly where people get caught out. So on Plus, you earn more Avios per pound, but the free card is already giving you 1 point per pound and for nothing. So that £240 fee isn't paying for 1.5 Avios, it's paying for the extra half. And a half an Avios per pound is arguably worth about half a penny. So to claw that £240 back from earning alone, so I'm not considering the vouchers or any welcome bonuses, you'd need to spend somewhere around £48,000 a year, which means on points alone, the Plus card is almost never going to pay for itself. Of course, unless you're a really big spender. So after the welcome bonus, the whole thing comes down to one perk, the upgrade voucher, which is, when you look at it closely, seems like a complete con, because the Plus gives you the voucher at £10,000 a spend, but the free card gives you the exact same voucher at £20,000 of spending. So if you do spend more than that in a year, you get the voucher anyway, and for nothing. So I ran a full year of my actual spending through it, and I spent in 1 year on my Amex Gold card just under £30,000, so well over the 20k threshold. Which means, okay, for me, the only real benefit of Plus is an extra half Avios per pound spent, which would earn me around 15,000 extra points. And at 1p per point, that could be worth £150 a year, which is not going to cover the £250 fee. You see what I'm getting at? Because this is why the Plus card, for me at least, is complete rubbish. It makes zero sense, and I'm certain, in fact, the same could be said for a lot of other people. In fact, if you're watching this and you're using the Plus card and paying the fee, I'd love to know why. Am I missing something here? And in fairness, if you really squeeze your points on premium cabin flights, which is exactly what I plan to do eventually with my points, then an Avios point is obviously worth more and that gap will narrow, but you'd need to be getting well over £1.50 per point just to break even. And I think for most of us, most of the time, we aren't. There is one exception though, and it's a big one. The first year. The Plus welcome bonus is 25,000 Avios versus 5,000 on the free card. You know, let's do the maths on that quickly. That is 20,000 extra, and that does beat the fee. So the clever play is obvious, right? Take the Plus for the first year, grab the big bonus, you know, break even easily on the cost, the fee, then downgrade to the free card before the second annual fee lands. And honestly, I think Barclaycard are just banking on people forgetting about the annual fee. They use the welcome bonus to entice you and help justify the fee in the first place, and then they hope that it'll quietly roll over again. Now, Barclaycard wasn't my only option. I did consider the Amex Rewards credit card. That's the free one. You know, same 1 point per pound as gold, no fee, and it keeps you in the Amex point system. And I think if you love American Express and just want rid of the fee, that's the sensible option. The BA Amex Premium Plus card, which is £300 a year and comes with the 2-for-1 companion voucher, was also an option. And I think if I flew more with BA, then that would genuinely be the one. But I don't fly with BA, and nor do I fly frequently enough to really justify it. And in fact, okay, no, I do fly with BA sometimes, that's not true. But when it comes to long haul, I'm more interested in trying to fly like Qatar or another airline that I can use my Avios with. So Gold was definitely a brilliant first card for me. I mean, there's no denying that. It helped me acquire over 500,000 Avios, but the time has definitely come to say goodbye. But if you're using it, or any Amex card for that reason, do get in the comments and let me know let me know how it's going. Let me know how it's going for you, because I'd love to hear, like, are you considering jumping ship? Like, have you got Amex Platinum, for example? You might not have gold. Like, that's deteriorating a little bit, isn't it? Like, is that tempting you? Are you looking at any other cards, like the Barclaycard, for example? You know, how are you handling the enshittification that seems to be spreading across credit and debit cards? And also, if you want to join the Discord, we actually just launched one. I'll put a link for it in the description box, and also a QR code on the screen right now if you'd like to scan that and continue the conversation over there and become a founding member. I'd love to have you on board, and we will talk about things like American Express and eSIMs and tech and finance and the other topics we cover on Technically Money. So come over and say hello. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.